I'm here with Sheri Williamson, next to the Santa Cruz River, right outside of Tucson, Arizona. We're going to look at some of the opportunities for birding just adjacent to the city. Sheri, what do you think we're going to find around here? And why is there water in this river? I mean, here we are in the middle of the desert.
Oddly enough, the Santa Cruz is a sad story. It was once a much more dramatic river than it is today, lined with tall cottonwood trees and thick understory of willow. This is all that's left of the Santa Cruz River, and some of this is just effluent from the city. But there's enough water here to maintain a semi-permanent wetland. You can see the cattails and all that couldn't be here if it wasn't for permanent water. So, and because southern Arizonans are so starved for wet places and the critters that are attracted to them, this is a very special place.
Oh, this is great. I mean, here we are, just right on the edge of the city, and then look at this black-necked stilts
Saguaros
right out there.
over on the hillside across from us and cattails in front of us.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
Yeah. Why don't you tell me what you think we've got out here?
Well, we've certainly got a lot of migrating black-necked stilts. They are really common right now. There must be a real wave moving through. Lots of killdeers, but then they're a permanent resident, so they're not necessarily incoming. I'm halfway expecting to find some other little sandpipers, shorebirds, and things like that. By the end of April, we're starting to see some of the birds that are going to move much further north, all the way up onto the tundra, in fact, in many cases.
Well, this is amazing, these displays, these black-necked stilts.
Yeah,
look at the wings out
it's
there.
that time of year.
Yeah,
Everybody's
that time of year.
hormones are surging.
Over here we've got, I can see mallards. And then one of these chestnut-looking mallards, is that Mexican duck?
Right, yes. The Mexican duck is a subspecies of the mallard, once considered a full species, but downgraded a few years ago.
Oh, darn, I can't add it to my life list.
Well, keep it in abeyance, because someday they may split them back out again.
Right.
You know how that goes.
Well, Sheri, this has been great. Just 5 minutes out of town, and we've already got a bunch of nice-looking water birds. Can you take me to some desert specialty? How about something Tucson has to offer?
Sure, absolutely. One of our favorite desert specialties is the Harris hawk, and they're not very far from where we're standing right now, a nest with a couple of young.
A nest? Ooh, let's go. There they are.
Wow.
There they are. I don't believe it.
What did I tell you?
Right here in the edge of town, here we are, you know, just in the outskirts of town, and Harris's hawk nesting high in an introduced eucalyptus. Now what are we looking at here exactly? I see one bird in the background, and it looks like another bird on the nest there.
Yeah, well, you might expect that the bird in the background is one of the adults, but it's actually one of the young birds. These guys are at a stage where they're very active, they're rapidly growing, they're needing to exercise their wings, and the nest just simply isn't big enough anymore.
I can see streaking on the breast.
Yeah, lots of streaking. That indicates we're looking at a young bird, but that's not always foolproof, because young birds from last year will still be streaked, and they'll be helping at this nest if they're still around.
Now these birds are at the stage you call branching, meaning going out onto branches.
Right, exactly.
So how many days do you suppose it's going to be before this bird jumps off, takes its first flight?
Not long, not long at all.
These things are unique in that they undergo cooperative breeding, right?
Yeah, it's actually an extended family. These guys have got some serious family values going on. These guys actually nest with the male and female both taking part in care of the young, which is the basic unit of the family, but then they frequently have helpers at the nest. Many of the helpers at the nest will be young from a previous year, but some of the helpers at the nest are actually the equivalent of a nanny or an au pair, an unrelated bird that comes in as a young bird, joins the family unit, helps to take care of the young, and may eventually succeed into a position of being a breeder in that family group.
The story is that the habitat's saturated. There's nowhere else to go. You know, why boot the young out? They're going to do a lot better staying around, and the young tend to raise individuals that are closely related to themselves anyway. Now, in this case, with this bird, there's something else going on.
Well, it's kind of the flip-flop of that, the mirror image of that. What's happening is we have an environment that has fairly limited resources for a big predator like this. And in order to raise a nice, healthy batch of young, it takes the hunting skills of the entire tribe, the whole clan, to really bring in enough food to keep those babies fed. Also, hunting cooperatively, they can bring in bigger prey. They don't have to settle for mice and rats and things like that. They can bring down cottontails and jackrabbits with the whole clan hunting together.
And that is unique to the
is.
bird world. I mean, there are not many species that hunt cooperatively.
Yeah.
That is, work together. In this case, what happens? These birds fly together. One chases a rabbit under the shrubs, And lands there, maybe walks in,
Yes, exactly.
flushes it out, and another one will
have-
come from the side and grab
We've
the...
seen that very thing happen. Yeah, and these guys do have quite a different personality from other birds of prey too. They are very
Personality.
social. They have great personalities. They're really charming birds. They get along well with one another. They're the bird that ends up being shown in a lot of movies, substituting for quote real hawks, because they're so easy to work with. They are naturally social and naturally work well. So they've been used a lot in the movie trade. San Diego Zoo uses them for their flight shows and things like that.
Boy, what a great looking bird. Let's see what else we can find.
Okay, let's do it.
Sheri, when you told me you were going to bring me to a sewage treatment plant, I didn't have this vision in mind. This is beautiful.
Yes, this is-
What's the story here?
This is not your average sewage pond. This is a constructed wetland, but it is specially engineered with just the right plants and just the right drainage patterns to treat secondary sewage effluent, basically all that stuff that cities all over the country are having trouble dealing with.
And look at the birds. I mean, this is amazing. This is not bad for marsh birding. I
It's-
can hear there's a yellowthroat over there.
Yeah.
There go some
Mallards
mallards.
fussing over there.
Oh, cinnamon teal. That
Isn't he a
outstanding.
stunner?
Look at that
Wow.
thing in the sun. This is a coot. Just
Yeah.
across.
Listen, yeah. He's got a few unkind words to say to us, I think. We're invading his paradise.
Upper left.
Upper left looks
Okay.
like maybe a
Red
red
wing.
wing.
Yep,
Yeah,
red-winged
he's
blackbird.
upstaged a bit by those great tails. Isn't
Oh, those grackles. That
he? Boy,
is great.
some serious threatening going on between those two males.
Mm-hmm. I hear there's something. That's just red-winged blackbird, and I thought I heard out there. Chick, 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 chick.
Sounds
Oh,
like
this
a
is
sore
great.
rail.
Yellowthroat over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Witchetty, witchetty.
Yeah. All these wetland birds here in the desert, here in a
This is-
desert city like Tucson.
Now, this vegetation, this is all planted, you're saying?
Yeah, sedges and rushes. All of these plants were specially selected for their value in extracting some of the waste from the water, things like the nitrogen and all that are kind of hard to deal with. The EPA has its high standards on what sewage effluent can consist of when it's reached its final treatment point, and these plants help the city
And-
of Tucson get it to that point.
This is great. And then they put in the entire infrastructure. There's
Yeah.
there's outhouses back there.
Yes,
And
yes.
here we could have a picnic. Tucson's done wonderful things here. I mean, what are the other benefits besides the recycling benefits here?
Well, it's a cheaper way to recycle the effluent, but it also is a value added for the people of Tucson and also for visitors to Tucson. Here we've got a tremendous wildlife viewing opportunity
Yep.
that's not only great for visitors, but it's great for local folks, for school kids. This is a wonderful, inexpensive form of entertainment. It's turning trash into treasure is what it's doing.
Trash to treasure. Outstanding. Listen. Who cooks for you? White-winged dove.
There's little Bell's Vireo chattering over here. He's defending territory. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sabino Canyon, just north of the city of Tucson. An amazing place. What a beautiful place.
Yeah, look here behind us, this beautiful Sonoran Desert up these canyon walls. Beautiful water down below us. Spectacular area within the Coronado National Forest, but right on the city limits of Tucson.
So this is national forest land just outside the city, managed primarily for recreational
Primarily for
use.
recreation, yeah.
Amazing.
And birders love this place.
This is a birding hotspot
Absolutely.
just out of Tucson.
Absolutely.
Listen to other noises. Oh,
Gila woodpecker off on the cactus behind us.
listen to that incessant, high-pitched.
Yeah, that's
Burden,
our
right?
burden. I think so.
Yep. See if we can get a look up here.
Yeah, he's up in the
Should
top
be
of that
visible.
big cottonwood tree.
Check it out. Oh yeah, there he is, yellow face, beautiful.
Just peeping his little lungs out.
There's a typical desert bird. Tell me about the plants right along the stream. The most common plant is this thing right here, which is willow, I take it.
Yeah, this is one of the willows. This is a Gooding willow, and that's a very common plant along these desert streamside zones. It doesn't get as big as willows in other parts of the country because it really does need a lot of water.
These things are growing right in the water,
Yeah,
typically, or
roots
right
in the
adjacent
water.
to the water.
Yeah. But
Things like southwestern willow flycatcher, are they
Exactly.
tightly associated?
They don't call them willow flycatcher for nothing. And this is part of a very important plant association with a cottonwood tree behind it.
Cottonwood, yeah, so cottonwood
Big
way up there, and over
yeah.
here, how about this beautiful white barked?
This gorgeous thing is an Arizona sycamore.
Yep.
And it's a representative of the mountain canyon stream side.
Yeah.
This is one that comes down and meets the cottonwoods right about here in the foothills of the mountains.
And very water dependent, I take it.
Very water dependent. But it supports a wide variety of life. This is one of the favorite trees, the little rose-throated Bacard, one of Arizona's most wanted
the
birds.
famous, yes, the famous roadside stop bird.
Exactly,
Yeah, right.
exactly.
Let's continue on down.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, that's amazing. A female Costa's hummingbird. I usually associate Costas with lower elevation desert scrub, you know, saguaro cacti. What's it doing up here, right?
She's got saguaros right behind her there.
Yeah.
And even desert animals are drawn to the streamside zone. She's just had a bath, evidently, from all this preening she's doing. So where else is she going to get a bath but right down here among these beautiful big trees?
Now, how do you tell the difference between, say, female Costas and something like a black-chin that would also be a likely candidate for
Well,
nesting here?
black-chin hummingbird is going to have a much longer bill and tail and even neck.
Ah.
Costa's hummingbird is a truncated little thing with a little short bill, little short tail, short neck.
I see that
Smaller
short bill.
version of a black-chin.
Yep. Oh, that's beautiful.
What a treat.
Look at her, just sitting and preening, sitting and preening. Oh, this is beautiful. Here we are at the top of the road, the Sabino Canyon Road.
Yeah, right
and
at the,
it's quiet.
yeah, right here at the entrance to the Push Ridge Wilderness.
This is late in the afternoon, but yet listen.
Cardinal singing,
Cardinal singing, and
verdant,
is that Scott's Oriole? Oh, this is amazing.
It's the time of year. So many desert birds are in the middle of their life cycles. A lot of the migrants are still moving through. Some of the birds that have just arrived from their winter homes are still setting up their territories and defending them actively from all comers.
So despite the fact that it's late in the afternoon, we can still get away with it at this time of year.
You can this time of year.
Well, this is a beautiful place, so close to town. Sheri, I want to thank you for the time and for showing me some of the birding hotspots right around Tucson.
Now, this is a really special place, and we're glad to have you come back anytime.
All right, thank you.